Now that we have the assembly completed, we're going to add some additional detail. So I'm going to take that assembly and delete it with the delete key on my keyboard. When I clone that, I should have renamed that, and I will, so it's top. Take this and move it a couple inches off of the bottom. Now, I've done that in the first video with the spreadsheet. Now I can do it with the calculator. So the distance from the bottom of the assembly to the bottom of that board is going to take this board and add some detail to it. What I'm going to do is shape the board to add the toe kick. So I go to board detail level, and I can get the board detail level by simply selecting the board and clicking the button detail. Or I can double click in the work level. When I'm in the board detail level, I'm going to select the surface and click shape, adding a point there and a point here, turning the add point tool off, selecting this point, and changing its values to 3 from the front and 4 from the bottom, like that. Select that point and change it to 3. Save, and there's my toe kick. Other details I can provide would be the dado on the bottom. So I select the edge, click holes dado. I'm going to start the dado 5 inches from the top, a height of 3/4, width of 23 1/4, and the depth of 0.25. Select the back of that board, click joinery. If I turn that back around, you see that the back is highlighted. Do a rabbit, and I'm going to accept the default values, but I'm going to change this setting so that the cut of the rabbit faces the right of the cabinet, like that. And similarly, you could put more holes in, like for shelf pins. So this might be 18. This could be 3. The diameter would be 1/4 inch, and the depth would be 1/4 inch, for example. You see the hole there. Now you can go into the holes spreadsheet, take that hole, right click, clone in space. You want to clone from the bottom, and we're going to add 8 holes, and they're going to be 3 inches apart. That might be a little bit too much. It's still a bit too high. I'm going to go with 7 holes, and there. How is this? And of course you would repeat that for the back set of pinholes. Come back to the assembly level and actually go into that assembly level. I'm going to take that board, which was cloned, and delete it. Take this board and clone and mirror it, and you'll notice that the holes are on the proper side. So we have our cabinet, and put face frame on by inserting a board. This time I'm going to use the solid lumber, 3/4 of an inch. The width would be 1.5. Height, I don't care about too much at this point because I can easily resize it. And the depth will be 3/4. That 3/4 dimension is the thickness. The grain direction is running that way. I'm going to add it to the board. Select the height with the grain direction and add the board. Next thing to do is to locate that board properly in the assembly. I can do that if I just take the red dot and drag it up to the top, like that. And if I right-click the red dot here, right-click that red dot, make its bottom 4, like that. While that's selected, I'm going to clone and mirror, and this creates the right style, like that. The rails, take a quick check. Top of that is 5 3/4. Put in another board with the rail, using the same stock. The width, again, I don't care. Height will be 1.5. And the depth is 3/4. 3/4 is the thickness. The grain is going to run that way, and add the board. Now I'm going to use a technique I showed in the first video, where I take the blue dot, get a good angle on that, take the blue dot from style, copy it, and then take the blue dot corresponding to the rail, paste it, check your work. I see the left value is 34.5, so I can make this right 34.5, like that. And while here, I'm just change that to top. Clone that, change its top value to 5 3/4, 5.75, like that. And now we have a little more detail in our cabinet. One last thing to add is the joinery on the bottom shelf. So go to board detail level, take the edge, in this case the right edge, joinery. I'm going to put a tenon on. This tenon, I'm going to make the number 2 value equal to the thickness of the shelf, like this. So enter that and want to center that value. The Z value is 1/4 inch, which is the depth of our dado cut, and save. And repeat that for the other side. Come back to the assembly level, and we're all set.